Hello and welcome to Midco Sports Tonight. We're going to start with football. Football season has finally ended in the NSIC. Minnesota State losing in the Division II quarterfinals to Texas A&M Commerce 31-21. So here to talk a little more about that game, our NSIC guru, David Brown.
That's too strong a word, but sure.
I say it every week because I believe in it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. So, like I said, the NSIC football season done. The Minnesota State Mavericks, a very talented team, but why did their season come to a close?
Well, it was a tight game. They had to lead at halftime. They were neck and neck with the Lions for most of the game. But in the fourth quarter, honestly, Texas A&M, they had better special teams when it counted. The Mavs tied it at 21 early in the fourth. Lions returned the ensuing kickoff 60 yards, kicked a field goal. Minnesota State goes 3-and-out on their next possession. A&M Commerce then drives for a touchdown. Take a 10-point lead with about 6 minutes to go. And then after a bad snap, Casey Bednarski, one of the best kickers who I've talked about in the country, he missed a 51-yard field goal. The Lions took some time off after that, and the game was pretty much moot at that point. Minnesota State still ran the ball well. Nate Gunn, 139 yards on 31 carries. I just thought they could have gotten more of their backs and receivers involved in the game. I know Gunn is a bell cow, but they could have used Justin Taormina, who was really good in the second half of the season when Gunn was hurt. So overall, the running game was good, but they needed more contributions from it. And then the passing game, their two quarterbacks combined just 10 of 34. Heck of a ride for Minnesota State. They rebound nicely from missing the playoffs altogether in 2016. Plenty of talent coming back, just couldn't quite get to that national championship level.
Ooh, future is bright for the Mavs. But meanwhile, football's over, but NSIC volleyball
still going
strong. Concordia St. Paul won the Central Region Tournament. Big surprise there.
No, not a surprise at all.
I know, they're so talented, but they are favorites, of course, in the Elite Eight.
Yes, absolutely. And again, I thought Concordia St. Paul was going to face Southwest Minnesota State in the region championship, but SMSU, the whole school, they lost to Minnesota Duluth in the semis, so CSP actually had to play UMD in the region championship. And as is usually the case, the Golden Bears took it up to another level, and they topped the Bulldogs 3-1 to win another region championship. They're 9th in 11 years. By the way, the other 8 times they won that region, they ended up winning the whole thing. So in addition to getting their 9th region title in 11 years, Concordia St. Paul going for its 9th national title in 11 years. Won 7 in a row from 2007 to 2013. Won their 8th last year in 2016. This is a team and a staff that have literally seen it all in the postseason. Nothing phases them, nothing bothers them, nothing surprises them. They are laser focused, and honestly, it's one of the more remarkable accomplishments in all of sports at any level.
Oh, yeah.
Head coach Brady Starkey and his team deserve to be commended no matter what happens this weekend at the Elite Eight. But my suspicion is they are the #1 team now after the brackets reseeded. I think they're probably going to have their 9th title in 11 years by this time next week.
You know what? I think you're right. I grew up watching that team, being by St. Paul.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And just a great program for as long as I can remember.
Solid, consistent, and championship caliber all the time.
Oh, yeah, very happy for them. Well, more action on the hardwood this time, basketball, NSIC basketball. Its first full weekend of conference play, and you were in Marshall for Upper Iowa at SMSU. What stood out to you in that one?
What stood out to me is Ryan Brueggemann and how he handled the fact that everyone's going to be gunning for him now. And I'd say he handled it pretty well. 24 points and 9 assists in a tight victory over the Peacocks. Upper Iowa did not shy away from him. Peacocks sent multiple defenders at Brueggemann. They hounded him as soon as he crossed half court, trying as best they could to get the ball out of his hands. And Brueggemann handled the pressure about as well as he could. Remember, reigning conference tournament MVP, preseason player of the year this season. He's not exactly an unknown bursting on the scene anymore. Upper Iowa is providing an idea of how other teams are going to play SMSU this year. They're not going to give Brueggemann any space to operate. He passed his first test this weekend. He was the South Division Player of the Week. Now it's going to be up to him and the rest of the Mustangs to keep it up. This was early in the season, so only played 32 minutes in that Upper Iowa game, 30 minutes in their game on Saturday. Is he going to get tired as the season wears on and more teams hound him and go after them? Honestly, we can't answer that question just because there's still so much time left in the season. But if this first weekend is any indication, Brueggemann can handle what's coming his way. I can't wait to see him, especially down the stretch when we get closer to tournament time.
Looking forward to it. Well, great stuff as always, David. Football might be over, but we're looking forward to talking basketball and volleyball.
Absolutely.
For a little bit longer. Great stuff. All right, when we come back, we are back on the gridiron. It's Coach Talk with USD's Bob Nielsen, where he and Jay Elson chat about the Coyotes' historic season. You're watching Midco Sports Tonight.
Midco Sports Tonight, presented by Avera Orthopedics.